what's going on YouTube? Alexander Povetkin is ordered by the WBC to face Bermane Stiverne for the number one mandatory spot that was Alexander Povetkin's until he popped hot. You know, him and Deontay Wilder was supposed to go at it back in May. A lot of people were upset, especially a lot of Alexander Povetkin fans. Saying it was like, he's clean. It was just a low amount. He stopped using it. They believed everything that came out of, Povetkin's mouth and stuff like that, Especially with his owner, what was it? I want to say Rubinsky, whatever that guy's name is. So, not his owner, but the promoter, you know what I'm saying? And not that he owns Alexander Povetkin, but anyway. So anyway, long story short, man. Just to be fair, Alexander to Alexander Povetkin, a lot of his countrymen have been cleared. As far as like failing the drug test. I guess he didn't meet like a certain amount of this meldonium in his system. But what raised the red flag is that he passed like 3 tests. Then he passed like he failed the 4th, then he passed like the 5th or whatever like that. Whatever the story is. You guys know the story. He failed one of, a drug test while doing the whole WADA or VADA testing and stuff like that. So, anyway, long story short, man, I guess you can give him a pass, Him and Bermane Stiverne will be tested in this WBC clean program testing they're having, and you know what I'm saying. But I think it's warranted, man. I think it's warranted. I don't know if he's been cleared. They say he has been cleared, but I think they trying to just give him a pass so they make a decision or whatever like that. But this is probably like the best thing they can come up with is maybe like this to me it's like a suspension because he hasn't fought in almost over a year. All right, and so once they get this fight together with him and Bermane Stiverne, it'll probably be a year before he's even has fought. So you can actually say he has been suspended for at least a year. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, he messed up his money. He messed up an opportunity to make some good money. But it's okay, you know what I'm saying? It's all right. But as far as an alternative, I was thinking to myself a long time ago, and I probably mentioned him maybe on one of the hangouts that he should be required to work his way back up. And I think some other guys mentioned it too, like they should take his number 1 spot and he should be working his way back up. To me, it's warranted that he fights 2 more fights until he becomes a number 1 mandatory again, because you can make a good argument that he cheated to climb his way back up to the top and to the WBC the rankings and whatnot. But yeah, man, I think it's a good fight, him and Bermane Stiverne. But we know Bermane Stiverne, excuse me, I'm tongue tied. Bermane Stiverne, so Stiverne. He's heavy-handed. He can take a punch, and he doesn't have the great foot movement, but I think he has enough to avoid any big shots from Alexander Povetkin. And you gotta think about Bermane Stiverne's a counterpuncher. And he would love for Alexander Povetkin to sit on his chest. He's Bermane Stiverne's a counterpuncher. He gets lazy at times. Sometimes you can get him up on the ropes and stuff like that. But Povetkin, he's not a guy who's going to be working at a high rate anymore. He's an older man now. I think he's past 35 years of age. Bermane Stiverne, he's up there in age too. Outside of this whole Derek Rossi thing Bermane Stiverne had, where he struggled, there's no tape out there, so we don't know how bad he struggled, because I didn't see anything on YouTube or anything like that. But yeah, man, I give Bermane Stiverne a very good chance of beating Alexander Povetkin. If I had some money to put on the fight, I'll definitely put it on Bermane Stiverne to win by knockout. And it's very much a dangerous fight for Alexander Povetkin. If he prevails, kudos to him. But I think he'd be best served by going ahead and fighting Deontay Wilder straight away. But being that Deontay Wilder is injured and then he be coming back from injury, I would like to think that the WBC will grant him like a extended grace period to maybe take another voluntary to make sure he's sharp, make sure their hands together, and then Alexander Povetkin next year. Sometime late next year, maybe during the summer or something like that. Maybe around this time in August of next year. And I think by that time, Alexander Povetkin, being that he's off the PEDs, will be right for the pickings, man. He'll be right for the pickings. Because Bermane Stiverne is not an easy out, man. He's not an easy out. I mean, he took Wilder's best punches all night. And the one time he did get knocked out, it was kind of questionable. But I think he's ready, man. This is another opportunity for him. I think Bermane Stiverne will be focused. I think this time he'll drink water. He'll be hydrated. You know what I'm saying? No excuses. And this is a coming out party, man. If he wins, man, I don't want to see Wilder fight Bermane Stiverne again. But if so, he's a name. Everybody knows him. I think the fight will do well on Showtime. But you guys let me know what y'all think. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.